Hi guys, I just wanted to show you how to cook one of the meals we're going to have for Sunday lunch tomorrow. I'm actually starting it the night before, so when we get home from church it will be almost done. Ever since baby girl got married, we try to make sure that we have Sunday lunch together as a family so that we don't lose contact and that we still spend time together. So what I'm going to show you all how to make is chicken rigatoni. It's one of Maureen's favorites. And these are the things you need. You need 3 to 4 chicken breasts, the skinless, boneless chicken breasts, a box of rigatoni noodles, a big can of crushed tomatoes. Let me see what ounce size this is. A 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. You will need a half pint of regular whipping cream. This comes in when it's almost done cooking, so this doesn't come until later. And then just whatever you want to season your chicken with: salt, pepper, basil, oregano. I usually use Italian seasoning, but for some reason it has disappeared from my cabinet. So we are just going to improvise. I have already sprayed my cookie sheet with some cooking spray so the chicken doesn't stick. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put the chicken, my handy dandy things, on the pan just like this. I'm sure everybody knows how to cook chicken, but just going to put all 4. And I defrosted them. They were the flash frozen ones from the bag. I think they're Purdue from Costco's. So I just rinsed them off a little bit in the sink before I went ahead and put them on the pan. And then I just sprinkle a little bit of salt, not a whole lot of salt, a little bit of pepper. I know, exciting. Probably should have opened these before I started. I'm going to do a little bit of basil next. Like I said, I would prefer to use some Italian seasoning, but since mine has walked off, I'm going to use basil and oregano just to use a little bit of a Italian spin on that. So once you get them all seasoned, you're going to cook them in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. You want to undercook them a little bit because in the next step you'll see we're going to cut them up and put them in the crushed tomatoes, which will then continue cooking the chicken. And the longer you leave the chicken in the sauce, the tender the chicken is. So this just kind of makes sure you don't get salmonella, you know, and everything is kind of cooked through. So that's that, and of course I'm just going to flip those over and do the other side, and then I'm going to put those in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. We wanted it cooked a little under. I'm going to get my tongs. And now I'm lucky I have these really nice Wusthof kitchen shears. We got them at a bridal show when we were planning the wedding, and the distributor was nice enough to give not only the bride but the maid of honor and myself a pair of these nice kitchen shears. So I don't have to dirty a cutting board. I'm just going to use the shears, and I'm going to cut my chicken into, I don't know, about 1 inch, 1.5 inch chunks like this. And you want to do this with all your chicken breasts. Make sure they're cut in nice chunks. And then we're just going to put those into the sauce. Now if you want, you can add some more seasoning to the sauce. If you wanted to add some garlic salt or onion powder or anything like that. I may do that later on after I've tasted it to see how good it is. There's quite a bit of seasoning on the chicken, so that'll season the sauce. I'm just going to keep cutting these. Oops. I just took it out of the oven, so it's very, very hot. I'm trying not to burn myself. Wouldn't be the first time I burnt myself in the kitchen. Now these look like they're going to need to be cut in half. Again, they're a little wide. Oops, making a mess. You just put all that right into the sauce. And then basically you're going to give this sauce a nice stir with the chicken. Add the seasonings if you want to. You're going to cook it on a simmer for about an hour. The longer you cook it, the more tender the chicken gets. But an hour is really more than enough time. This one's a little thicker, harder to cut. And then when the hour's almost up, you want to put your water on for your rigatoni noodles. And then just cook the rigatoni according to the box directions. And then you're almost done with the dish. So just put this on simmer. Make sure you put a lid on top of it so it doesn't splash and make a big mess of your kitchen. And then once this is simmered, I cook the rigatoni noodles, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I've put the water on to boil for our noodles. Remember, we got the box of rigatoni noodles, and we're going to cook this whole box of rigatoni noodles. I'm going to salt the water. It's the best time to do it before the water boils. And then this is what your tomatoes and chicken should look like. Yours might be a little bit more liquid. I had put mine in the refrigerator overnight, and then I brought it back up to temperature. So yours may be, if you've cooked it all in one day, might be a little bit more liquidy. So this is what it looks like. So while the water's boiling and we're waiting for the noodles, I'm going to add the cream. I always shake it up. You may not need to, but I always feel like you need to shake it up because it's been sitting for a while. And then we're just going to add the cream to the sauce mixture. I can get it open. Just pour it all in. The whole half pint you're going to use. Now this is just regular whipping cream, not heavy whipping cream. I have used fat-free half and half in this. It doesn't taste quite as rich, but if you're watching your calories, you can use that. And then you just want to stir this up. Make sure it's all incorporated into the sauce. And of course, make sure your temperature is on a simmer because you don't want the cream to scorch. That would taste yucky, yucky, yucky. And now it'll be really kind of soupy, which is fine because when we put this in with the noodles, it'll all incorporate. So now we just have to wait for the noodles to boil and cook, and then we'll be on to the next step. Okay, so I've cooked and I've drained my pasta noodles. Now I'm just going to add them back into the pan I cooked them in. Now the burner that this pan is on is not hot, but I'm just putting the noodles right back into the hot pan. And now I'm going to take my chicken, cream, and sauce mixture and add it to the noodles. You got to be careful so you don't splash yourself. Just scoop it all into your noodles. Make sure you don't put this pan back on the hot burner. And then you're just going to combine that. All together. I don't know if you can see that. And it will thicken up a little bit with the pasta. Now you could put this on a platter if you wanted, and then just spoon the sauce over top. But we like it all mixed together. So now it is all ready to serve, and that's pretty much it until we're ready to serve it.